All right. Good morning, cyber friend. Good morning to everybody. And we want to say we give God all the praise and glory, thanking Him for life, health, and strength. And thanking Him for touching the finger of love this morning. Eyes flew wide open again and see a day that we never seen before, one that we never will see again. We thank you for all the cyber friends. And as y'all see in this here particular video here this morning, the topic it says, My Mom. My Mom. I wanted to come and do this video. Matter of fact, I really did want to do it around Mother's Day, but sometimes, you got to let the Lord move and you follow this leading and the prompting of the Holy Spirit. He will not let you do anything before time or prematurely or what's not. He'll do it at the proper time and then not let it be just shape and form and fashion. I'm glad that he allowed me to wait until this here present time to do this particular video because of the fact that I know it is from the heart and not just something that I just want to get up here to say. Uh, we thank God for all of you, and like I say, if you are alive, that means that you have a mom, and we want to pray and thank God that you know all is well. But at any rate, I wanted to do this here. If y'all, I tell the story in my book. I tell the story in my book. The first book, I've cried many tears. I tell the story about my mom in my early childhood, my early life, from my birth on up, in other words, and the story is there. And for those of you that have not read the book, I will advise you to go to Amazon.com, look it up. I cried many tears, Ernest J. Walker, and go ahead on and get the book and read it. We thank God, like I said. Then we got a sequel book up there as well. That it's an ebook, just an ebook as a continuation of, and it is titled "I Continue to Swim in Troubled Waters." Just letting you know that after that, after the first book, there came many more troubles after the fact. In other words, and so that's what that's about. But as I was saying, a lot of time I know y'all hear me speak about my grandmama, speak about my great grandmama, in which they were very great ladies, and my great auntie, Aunt Susie. Y'all hear me talk a lot about my auntie Aunt Susie and everything, but you don't really hear me talk a lot about my mom, but other than in my book. But what we need to understand, people, and realize, I know that my great grandma had a big hand in raising me and my grandmama, and so my mom had tremendous help with us kids. My mom had tremendous help with us, and that's a blessing. That's a blessing. That was a blessing from God, and she had tremendous help with us as kids and rearing us up and getting us to school and whatnot and everything. Because I can remember in my early days that the way it was with me is that I stayed with my grandmama during the week to go to school because I had to go to school during the week, and then on the weekend I would spend that with my great grandmama as well as my great auntie, the one I talk about all the time. And so that's how that came about to be. When you talk about the people that you are reared up around and you spend the most time around, those are the people that you really talk about. And let me tell you something, my brothers and sisters, before I go any further with this here thing about my mom. Let me say this one thing. We got a lot of people, and this is not only in the church. This is not only in the church. This is just basically in general, all over the board. We got a lot of people that we want to be. How would I say it? Just you don't want to be condescending on people. No, you don't want to do that. But you must tell the truth. if we got a lot of people that wants a lot of accolade, they want a lot of light, they want a lot of uh, different things to be said about them and whatnot. But if you have not done those things that warrant that type of uplift, then you cannot expect that. If you have not done those things that warrants that kind of uplift. Um, Now, if I mean, hey, I used to love basketball when I was in school. I love basketball. But now, if I had not done something right now, I didn't even know that. Matter of fact, in my college that I graduated from, Andrew, my junior college, up until just a few years ago, a couple of years ago, to be exact, I didn't even know that they had something in the gymnasium of the school there where they have me showcased, and I'm in the showcase out there with, I don't even know what it is right now, but it exposing the fact and it's showing the people that I hold a record at that school for hitting the most points in a single game. That's right. I hold the record for hitting the most points in a single game, which was 61 points. 61 points in one single game. And I didn't know this, people. It was my nephew that told me this here about a year or so, about a year or two ago. And I've been graduated from Andrew over 30 years. But I didn't know that. I did not know it. But now, let's just say, now, if I had not done that and performed that, well, Andrew Collins would be telling a lie. So people, if folks are not saying, if you haven't done anything to warrant these accolades, can nobody give you things that you did not warrant because they will be telling lies. So, that's how come I say, we go on and we do what needs to be done. And I believe in, what we say, give credit to whom credit is due. So I believe in that, but I don't believe in giving people that don't deserve it. I mean, if you haven't done anything and I don't know about it, I can't talk about stuff that you have done, and I don't know what it is that you have done it. And I know I haven't seen the things that you've done. So how can I uplift you on something that I don't see you doing? It's just like people that gets, I'm on his, I'm going to bring it to church now. I'm going to bring it to church now. You got people that, in other words, some people, everything that they do inside of the church, whatever that might be, they want you to put it up in lights. They want you to put it up in lights and then put a big spotlight on it and let everybody know, hey, I done this. Well, there's nothing wrong with giving honor to whom honor is due. Nothing wrong with that. But is that's the only reason you doing something, just because you want somebody to brag on it? If you're doing it for that reason, you're doing it for the wrong reason. It's all should be done for the glory of God. And so, like I said in my book, I explained some things, and y'all can read about it. But I wanted to come and let you know, yeah, we talk a lot about Big Mama, we talk a lot about Grandma, we talk a lot about my great aunt Susan. But those were not the only people that did play an important role in my life coming up. There was a few others, and we will give them their major shout out and major role to let them know that they did do it. But I remember I remember my mom telling me how Big Mama took care of them, her and her sister, when they was coming up as little girls. And Big Mama, which is my great grandmama, she took care of them when they were coming up, and they have great admiration for Big Mama. In other words, great grandmama. They have great admiration for her as well. So it ain't no jealousy thing. See, that's what we need to get out of. It ain't about all that. So it never was any jealousy thing like that. And that's how come I came back to say, because my great grandmama used to always tell me about how my mom, when I was born, and how she, and like I said, you got to remember, my mom wasn't nothing but a little girl when I was born. It was a little girl, 7, 15 years old. And so she had to go out and do some things for me, in order for me to. My great grandmama told me these things because I didn't know it. And but my great grandmama told me how she went out, found work in order to take care of me and come, at the early stages of my life. And I drank pet milk. Y'all ever know that milk in a can? I didn't. That's one of the reasons why I don't think I liked milk that well. My great grandmama said I didn't like milk that well, but I did. I drank pet milk coming as a baby. And then the only way they could, my big mama would give me coffee as a child, and she would put the milk in it, and that was the way I would drink it. That's the way I would drink milk, is when it was in coffee. And so I remember one time my great grandmama had to go to the school system. She had to go out there and let them know that I wanted coffee. They were going to have to give me coffee because I was reared up on it. And she went out to the school system and talked to the principal and told all of them, that just the way it was. And I was a kid that, out of all the kids in school, I was the one I could have coffee because I was reared up on it. But at any rate, my mom had did that, and then she had to go and, like I said, all this in the book. But I'm just speaking it today. To New York, my early life in early years, and she lived in New York, worked in New York City, and in Manhattan, and up until the time until I think a king got assassinated in '68, and that's when her and some friends of hers they decided to come back home out of the city because it was real wild at that time, very crazy at that time. They decided to return back to the South at that particular time. But that's how come I'm saying to everybody to let you know there's no love is lost there when it comes there. Because like I said, my mom was young when I was born. She had to do a lot of things, to leave home at a young age and everything, trying to take care of me and the rest of my other brothers and sisters that came after me. She was trying to take care of us and everything, did the best she could. So that much is deserves a great shout out. And I can remember my, like I said, I don't remember too many times my mom whipping me, but I do remember one case, one instant. I can't forget that one instant, and it happened because of the fact that my sister that's gone on from labor to reward. I hope my sister Amy is gone from labor to reward. She passed away back in 2012. It was the fact that I got a whooping. Amy made me get a whooping. See, Amy had to go to summer school one summer, and I would always go and pick her up from summer school in the afternoon when she got off, and I would always go at her on my bicycle. And Amy loved for me to come at her on my bicycle because she loved to ride. And I would pull her and put her on my bicycle and ride her home and everything. And she loved that. So one particular day, I didn't ride my bicycle. I walked and got her. I walked to the schools. In my old high school, I walked out there and got her that day. And Amy didn't like that. She wanted that bicycle. She wanted to know where was my bicycle. So every time I tried to get her to come on and go to walking with me, she would not move. She stayed right there. And then I walk on ahead of her. She's way behind me. Didn't want to walk because she was mad I didn't ride my bicycle. And so I kept on dealing with her, telling Amy to come on. And so God bless her soul. We went through that. We went through that series for a long time. And when we finally did get home, it was very, very late. And my mom whooped me because she sent me at Amy, and I didn't get back into that late. Needless to say, she don't know that it was Amy was the one that was cutting the food, the reason why we was late getting home. But nevertheless, I got the whooping for that. But it wasn't that was an everyday thing with my mama whooping us like that there. But now it was our grandmama that did the discipline. Now grandmama Leola Walker would tell your behind up. I'm just telling you straight up that Leola Walker would tell your behind up. And she meant what she said, and a matter of fact, I'm like that to this very day, y'all. There's one thing about it. She said what she meant, and she meant what she said. And you had to do it. And we kids knew that. And but grandmama was a disciplinary, because I never really did get that much discipline as far as whooping from my great grandmama as well. So my mama Gladys and then my great grandmama, they never did that much discipline on me as far as giving me whoopings or not. But boy, my grandmama Leola, that's the one. Amen. That's the one. God bless her as well. She passed. I hope that she went on from labor to reward. It was in 2015, I believe it was. It was in 2015. So we thanking God for that. But I just wanted to let y'all know to come back on that, to let you know that even though that I may not say much about my mom, when you hear me talking about my grandmama, my great grandmama, and all that, but I'm just here to tell you, read the book, and then you'll see what my mom done as well. And most of the things that I did in high school, some of the basketball games that I was involved in, I wasn't involved in sports in the basketball as the way a lot of my other counterparts were in it. But I did certain things at certain times, because I did most of them staying. I did not want to leave my great grandmama alone at night. And so I decided that I wouldn't try to do a lot of things that a lot of the other high school kids did. And so that was a part of it. A lot of people didn't know I could even play basketball as well as I could until later in my life, in my college days, really, because of the fact that was the way it was. But my mom was there. She tried to be there when she could, with her friends as well. So we just thank God. And I'm going to say this here, then I will close up this here segment of the video, y'all, is letting you know that if you want great things, if you want to be counted and noted, then you must do something. You must do something. It's not for you to just brag on yourself, or, it's better to let other people give you your shout out and everything, not for you to just sit there and just brag on yourself. I'm not telling you to do that, but if you want to be well spoken of, then you must have done something. You must do some things in order to get that type of accolade. If you haven't done anything for anybody, I mean, you're selfish and you're critical, you're judgmental, and all the 9 yards. Like I said, then you wonder why you don't have any friends. Well, I mean, I would tell you, if you think, step back a little bit and look at you. You're selfish, you're judgmental, you're critical. That's why you don't have a friend. Nobody wants that, So we just saying, y'all, just be careful and let us take another look at things. And people cannot give you what they don't have. Nobody can do that. Don't hold that over people like that. They cannot give you what they don't have. And so, whatever little bit that you get, learn to be content. The Apostle Paul said, I find myself, whatever state that I'm in, therewith to be content. So if I may not have a full glass of water, but if I got a half glass, I'm thankful for that. Because that half a glass will cure thirst just as well as a full glass will. And if you just happen to have a full glass, then count your blessing. That's what me, the man, is saying this morning, y'all, to everybody. And we just thank God for those people that had to raise kids, whether it be a single parent, a father, or a mother. They the one that had to raise up the kids. They had to do the best they could. Money wasn't plentiful. Money was not plentiful. When I was born in the 60s. And during that time, it was a lot of unrest, and it was just no jobs available for young blacks anyway. Not really, not to a degree. And then, parents, some of them, they had to do the best that they could. And if you are still living and you are alive and well, that means that they did a pretty good job. They performed a pretty good job, because you yet here to be a witness to that being a good job. So let us just remember that, when it comes time for us to reciprocate on days like Father's Day and Mother's Day, Christmas and birthdays and stuff, let us remember that. Let us remember how they carried you, how they done for you. Because at Christmas time, you may didn't get everything you wanted, but you got some of the things that you desired, and you had plenty to eat. And so you were blessed. You were blessed. So that is noteworthy. That is noteworthy mention, honorable mention that. And that's what we should always do, and learn to be grateful, y'all. That's what the old Mitty Man saying this morning. That's the Mitty Man Minute, y'all, for this morning. On this Thursday morning, we thank God for everybody. And I think I told everybody that I did get a chance to go back out there to Walker's Music in my studio out there, my project studio on yesterday. Thank God to Bryson Langford and the Brotherhood. We thank God for them. They built me a nice ramp to make me able to access my studio again, and I was very glad to be inside of it. I mean, I'm not able to move as fast as I want to right now, but that'll come a little bit better. That'll get better as I go in progress. So y'all just remember, we are back on the business. We said we're going to be like Quincy Jones said, we are back on the block. We're back on the block, and we thank God for everybody that was involved in this here thing, through my illness and everything from 2018 up until this present time, those that helped me out. And everybody, like I said, we thank God for life, health, and strength. And we thank the Lord that He had brought me thus far, as well as many others. We got many other people that have done went through a lot in these here past few years, especially on last year, the pandemic. And so you got a lot to be thankful for. And so now we say we are grateful, we are thankful, and God bless each and every one of y'all. God bless you, and God keep you is my Mitty Man's prayer. And so with that being said, remember I always say, if God is, whatever you get into, if God isn't in it, it's best that you come out of it, because it's going to come to nothing. So with that being said, we're going to say peace and good morning.